Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Running on Karma, a Hong Kong film from 2003 that was directed by Johnnie To and stars Andy Lau and Cecilia Cheung. Now I'm going to paraphrase the Wikipedia plot synopsis since it does a good job of summarizing things. So this follows a man named Biggie, played by Andy Lau, who was a Buddhist monk, but he gave up his occupation when he realized that he could see a person's past life, which could mean that he would be able to predict what would happen to that person in their current life because of karma. Biggie then became a bodybuilder and worked in a strip club. Yes, you heard that correctly. But he runs into an undercover cop named Lee, played by Cecilia Cheung. So both characters become entangled in a police case to catch a murderer, but the past life of Lee could become a problem, because she was a Japanese soldier who killed countless civilians. So Biggie knows this and decides to help Lee to both catch the murderer and safely restore her karma. So Running on Karma is a true genre bender. It's primarily a drama with some comedy, thriller, and action elements that are peppered in. It frequently transitions between these genres. So the opening scene shows Andy Lau as a strip club dancer in a fake muscle bodysuit. It's completely ridiculous, especially if you're familiar with Lau as an actor, because the muscle suit is so huge that it exaggerates his bodybuilder physique to absurd proportions. You know what I mean? It definitely begins as a comedy, this movie, for sure. I mean, the opening scene is quite striking. But it also feels like a superhero movie at times, because we're introduced to a villain who can distort his body in impossible ways. It's something you might see in a comic book movie. These abilities result in lots of crazy maneuvers that are performed, which include some unrealistic jumps, temporary hovering, and some wall walking, walking on the walls. So that's pretty interesting too. And then to top it all off, there's a dark underbelly to the film as well, as it explores some rather serious and occasionally disturbing dramatic themes. So Johnnie To mashes all of these genres together, and it somehow works. This is very different from a contemporary Korean genre bender, like a Junho Bong film, because Running on Karma accentuates its clashing genres more sharply, which makes them stick out more. But Johnnie To is still able to craft a world where the, absurd superhero stuff feels compatible with the more serious karma-themed stuff. It makes this film very memorable. You know what I mean? Whether you like it or not, you're not going to forget it anytime soon. It's a very unique beast, this film, for sure. There's not a lot of action in this. It's primarily a drama with different elements mixed in, but it does have a little action in it. The superhero stuff feels rather goofy in how the characters move. The way they run and climb is almost comical. It's very odd. You know what I mean? The chases are not really meant to excite per se, but they are amusing because they're presented in such a quirky way. You know what I mean? It's a little odd when you first see it, but you kind of get used to it as the film moves along. The acting and the characters are actually surprisingly good when one considers that the plot for this film could have resulted in a complete disaster. I mean, if you consider all these clashing genres, and you have Andy Lau in a muscle suit, and just the plot, this film should not have worked, but it does. I'm amazed that Running on Karma is as good as it is, and the fact that it works so well as a drama, alongside the wackier genre elements, is pretty impressive. Andy Lau is one big reason for this. He somehow portrays a former monk-turned-stripper in a bodysuit, with fake muscles, in a compelling and dramatically impactful light. How? This movie proves that Andy Lau can do just about anything, because he nails a role that must have been very difficult to pull off. In regard to Cecilia Cheung, I've always been a fan of hers. I think my favorite performance from her was Lost in Time, though I haven't seen that film in a while. But she definitely gives an energetic performance in Running on Karma, and some of the more dramatic scenes actually involve her, I think. And last, but certainly not least, if you're interested in watching movies that utilize concepts of reincarnation and Buddhism, this is a must-watch, It has a lot of content that is dedicated to that, so much so that the entire film basically revolves around them. So if you're interested in watching movies with that theme, which is not something we get much in American film, it's another reason to watch this. Excuse me. So if you're thinking about watching this movie, my only warning to you is that it's an oddball flick that jumps between different genres and has some wild tonal shifts. This kind of movie's right up my alley, as you might know already, but it might not be for everyone. However, I do know some people online who consider Running on Karma to be one of the best Hong Kong films of the last 20 years. So if you're in the mood for something different, check this one out. It's currently available on DVD and Blu-ray in the United States, and as always, I'll see you next time.